Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Nova Hellscape, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and give everyone a ring now because I think everyone is chomping at the bit. Let's begin. Hello.
Yo,
what's up?
Yo,
hello.
Sup?
How's it?
Dude.
How's it going, everybody?
Let's get it.
Yo.
Let's get it.
It's terrible now that summer is here.
dude,
What
what's
the
up?
fuck, dude?
What's up, guys? It's me, Corpse Husband.
Yeah. Whose idea was summer?
Who's I?
Mine. You need
Summer,
a heel of the group that everyone can make fun of, right?
yo,
Damn.
Summer,
Damn.
summer fits everywhere. What do you mean? Whose idea was summer? Yo, where'd wait? Wasn't Sam posting the looking at watch GIF?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then didn't answer the phone call. Epic.
That's
It's
very
always the
typical of him.
hypocrites that say stuff like
Very
that.
typical of
He
him.
did the best.
Epic.
There he is.
Hey, there he is. Hey, Sam.
I just wanted to build suspense.
It was very suspenseful. I really do appreciate that.
You didn't build suspense. You just got made fun of.
A little bit.
Bro,
Yes.
what the fuck?
You
little
posted someone looking at their watch, and then you were the last to join the call. It's kind of ironic.
Why is that ironic? My watch was wrong in the GIF.
I hate this.
I mean, that's a fair argument. All right. Hi, everybody. Hello. Needless to say, I'm very excited about this campaign. So, welcome to the Nova Hellscape. This is my first time meeting a couple of you guys, so just as a brief introduction, my name is BrettUltimus. I create and DM the World of IO campaign setting, which we've been running online for about a year now. But we've been DMing IO for a little over 2 years offline. Sam was actually one of my offline players, so I'm very excited to be DMing him again in the.
You guys
in
saw
the
each
online
other
setting.
in real life.
I've seen him in real life too, Surefour.
Wicked.
Super Mario in real life.
In real life. Just as a brief heads up, so essentially what the World of IO is, it's just a sandbox setting world where players essentially help influence and write the story of IO. It's a game that's always evolving from players' actions. I know, for example, Woops and Summer in their current campaign is kind of reshaping a little bit of the World of IO with their own actions right now. And that is what IO is all about. We're currently on our second phase of IO, and in the final act of IO as well. So you guys are going to be playing in the Nova Hellscape, which is IO's version of Hell. Essentially, you guys are going to be playing in the sun of IO, which is where the hell is where hell is located currently. Is literally, this is the Jupiter Nova, which is IO's sun. So that's where you.
hot.
Yeah, so that's
We're in
where
a sun.
you're going to be in a sun. That is correct.
Bro, I
Are we
forgot
able
my
to destroy
suntan.
the?
Dude, I'm finally living my weird Teletubbies dream.
I forgot my lotion.
Can we destroy the world?
You can't.
Baby in the sun.
That's hot.
That's hot. That's hot. You can if you want to. So just as like a brief history of the Nova Hellscape. So Io, the planet of Io, was born from an event known as the Jupiter Incident, which essentially caused the planet of Jupiter to go nova and become this universe's new sun. This solar system's new sun. So with that, there were denizens of people that lived on Jupiter that essentially became trapped in this new hellscape. So the races that lived on Jupiter themselves now live within the Nova, live within the sun, to create this sort of like hellish abominations of different races and things like that. So that is where you're playing, and that also adds to the races that you'll be selecting with this D&D campaign. So, with that, I have a gift for you all that we've been working on this week. It is a race manual complete with...
Say, can I eat it?
You can eat it if you want. You can print it and eat it if you'd like.
You have to print it. You're the chef now.
You're the chef. So I'm uploading the PDF now. And this is going to be the list of races that you are going to be able to play.
Downloading it. I'm distributing it.
I'm selling it.
I'm already reading it. You guys suck. Too slow.
Don't don't distribute. No distribute.
I'm selling it right
Do it.
now.
Don't torrent,
It's on Reddit,
dude.
it's on Reddit.
Don't do it, dude. Don't torrent, dude.
Thank you for adding the the elephant race.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You mentioned that, and I was like, all right,
Oh.
we'll add that.
Fucking god.
Elephant race.
Yep.
Mm,
I'm playing an elephant.
Chat, I will also show you guys. Give me one moment.
Boy, do me and Strippin have an idea to pitch.
Oh yeah, I know Strippin was talking about you two were talking about characters that you wanted to do. So, hold
Wait,
on.
Jackal folk. Wait.
So this should cover.
Is yiffing allowed?
I do somewhat. You know what? There it is. Ster did it. I was when we were making this race. The artist that worked on the Jackal folk specifically was like, I'm gonna try to make this as not as furry as possible. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Someone's gonna make a furry joke, no matter what you do. It's just accept it at this point. And there it is. There it is.
It's true.
It's true, though. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead. Boom. I know people are excited about this. All right, chat. This is also going to be going up on the Patreon. But it is our very own race manual specifically for the Novascape. So the races that you guys can choose from, as you guys are paging through, is the Ashen Astari, which essentially is this like native race that used to live on Jupiter. But when the Jupiter went nova, it altered their being, and they had to kind of go more from this like studious, wise, mythical race to just a brute force race right there. So they are definitely more strength based. The Mammoraths, which are like Luxodons, but instead of being nice and gentle and wise, they're all about the honor of battle.
Let's go!
So it's a bunch of killing.
I already made my character.
You did. I knew you
much.
wanted. I knew you wanted elephant. So I was trying to figure out what a good Constitution race was going to be, and then I was like, oh,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
just
perfect.
I'll make it the elephant race. The Aurorans, which is the tieflings of Io. So effectively, a long time ago, just as a brief history of what the Auroran race is, they are essentially the ancestors of old day humans that did a lot of genetics and modifications to themselves. So there are a variety of Aurorans, including human Auroran, gnomish Auroran, elvish Auroran, dwarvish Auroran, and Goliath Auroran. And essentially they're modified humanoids. So the elves of yesteryear are effectively modified humans. To have more of an enhanced willpower, while the dwarvish Aurorans were humans that were made to be more stout, based on constitution. Effectively, people were being designed and built as engineered for war, as well as living a very long time, trying to figure out what the next evolution of humans are, and that's essentially what the Auroran race is. And then we have like the Cosmonites, which are an ancient, mysterious race that originates from the Nova. Chat will know because there recently was a big fight against a deitic god known as Cosmokara. The Cosmonites are a race originated from that old ancient deitic god. Then of course you have the Jackal Wolf, as Summer pointed out. Jackal people, sort of like ancient like hunters and scavengers. And then the Kindled, which has its own deep lore in itself, originating from something called the Black Star, which you'll learn a bit about this campaign as well. So from this, these are the races that you'll get to choose from. If you were looking more for like humans, dwarves, elves, typical fantasy races, you're probably going to want to go more towards the tiefling side of things. If you were looking more for that vanilla fantasy flavor at that point in time. Yes.
Do tieflings get the base stuff for being
Yes.
an Auroran tiefling plus the
That's correct.
sub-race?
Yep.
Cool.
So you choose a sub race from that, but each one of that sub race has the +2 charisma, the dark vision, and the nova resistance.
Why are jackal folk not on fire?
Why are jackal folk not on fire? They can be if you want. They tear at their skin and their fur specifically because of how hot the Nova Hellscape is. It literally puts them into a frenzy.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. If we're living on a sun, why are people alive?
Oh, why are people alive itself? So the way the Nova Hellscape works when you're looking outside towards this irradiated sun, it's sort of like, and obviously we're doing like fantasy science here. There isn't like, I'm not going like too deep in that because my brain not too big. But this planet essentially has the appearance of the sun and irradiates that from its like skyline, its ozone layer. But once you pierce through that, that's where you kind of see like this scorched landscape, and it's the remnants and the floating remnants of Jupiter. So
Are people on the planet aware that they are the sun?
That they
Before
are
everyone else?
No.
I'm assuming because they can't leave their atmosphere because it's too hot.
That is correct. Because of the sky, essentially the sky is on fire constantly. So that is what your skyline frequently looks like. So no one's actually left Jupiter at this some point in time. Your lore essentially is a long time ago, the planet blew up and you are part of the surviving races. The way Jupiter looks right now, it looks like a bunch of floating chunks of rock and land. So you constantly have to use like tightrope ships and things like that to go between there. Or if you have a capability of flying, magical or otherwise, you're able to do it at that point in time.
What level are we going to start at?
You guys are going to start at level 5.
Okay.
Sick.
So if you look over the floating edges, you'll actually just see a ball of fire as well underneath you. So there's fire above you, fire underneath you, and there's a variety of different environments. For example,
So
go on.
I can push Summer into a lava lake when we're
That-
crossing a bridge.
Thanks,
Absolutely,
bro.
100%.
I wish you would.
I wish you would. Looks down, frowns. For example, the Cosmonites, they are born from an area known as the Charred Carcinoma, which it looks like this black, leathery land that almost resembles that of skin and flesh. And they are birthed from mysterious sacs that appear and are born in this area. And they are birthed as adults at age 0, and they just consistently live forever at that point in time if they're able to continue draining life forces from other people. But yeah, so there's definitely a lot of different areas of the Nova Hellscape itself that is related to Io, but again, you all are not privy of that information because no one has left the fire skyline, essentially.
So when you say that we're basically hell, does that have any of the evil connotations or more of like the landscape?
So the landscape itself is hell. I would say humanoids and people's motivations are survival, and morality kind of gets thrown out the window. So there is no like nefarious evil. You'll also notice all the races don't have alignments that you guys lean towards, because I typically don't like races to lean one way or another. I want you to write your own story.
That's racist.
Because you're because you are living on a hellscape, doing whatever you can to survive. Morale, like aspects of morality essentially get thrown out the window at that point in time. So no one's like laughing in a corner or trying to like maliciously do something evil. Everyone's just trying to live. And there's no like, oh, but should we do that? Should we do that? A lot of people will just do whatever they need to do. And so that does kind of lean it more towards a neutral or even like an evil thing. Post-apocalyptic morals is someone said in chat, I think is the best way to look at that. If you have any questions about the races itself, feel free to let me know.
Is there a religious connotation with my whole planet being on fire?
There definitely are.
You are your own god.
Yeah, there are definitely groups of people. So in the world of Io, there are no gods. And that's the same thing sort of in the Nova Hellscape. It's the one with the most power has the rule. There used to be gods once a long time ago, for example, in Io's history, and heroes went and killed their gods so that humanity may continue to rise and flourish without these sort of like overbearing beings determining what their life is.
Hey, yo, thanks, Strippin.
You're welcome.
So
hey, no gods doesn't mean no religion.
That is true. So as far
Become your own god.
So as far as religious
Become as gods.
As far as a religious connotation goes when it comes to this world, it is ruled by those that have power. So essentially there are temples that are built to sort of these, what's the best way to describe it? There are temples that are built to orders of things, which I guess you can kind of look more towards as a religion. But they're also the ones that provide protection and food for the people because they're the ones that have power. The Nova Hellscape itself is very scarce when it comes to food itself. So more often than not, a lot of people are starving and are dying and doing what they can, and they will sort of look over towards the temples for answers and ways. Because a lot of the times, they are the ones with the food, so they provide that. So they can establish a religious order at that point in time and state, you know, worship this, believe this, do this. But as far as like deep-seated like spiritualness or religious goes, I think it is more of a necessity than it is a spiritual need. If that answers your question.
Slightly. I can keep pushing, but I don't know if you have anything for specifically what people would think, like how the universe was created.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because this is like a weird predicament where your world blew up.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it more of a situation of it's so difficult to survive in this place that it's an afterthought?
Exactly. That's primarily the thing. So there really isn't, because I look at religion as sort of this fulfill another spiritual need that you need, but everyone is so desperately trying to survive at that point. It is exactly what Strippin said. It is an afterthought. So when people kind of look at like how the universe was created and things like that, I would say the Astari would have a previous history and knowledge that would have been passed down for quite some time. Since the Astari originally were denizens of Io, which was Jupiter's moon, the Astari originated from that. So their belief system structures on something known as the memory, which is this stories, instead of it being like stories passed down by like religious documents or dogma, it's actually passed down by a powerful memory that kind of originates where they came from, how the universe was created, things of that nature. But the Ashen Astari have sort of abandoned that because the need for religion and knowledge to continue to be passed on future generations are so unnecessary at this point because everyone is meant to survive. The Astari themselves were once sort of like this meek, wise, intelligent race, and they became more, worked more on being physical, being more buff, being able to survive. That religion has become more of an afterthought. Meanwhile,
can you explain what the memory is?
So,
like how that physically works?
I can, but you would not have the knowledge of that here in the Io Hellscape. so I wouldn't want to pass that over to you. That's more IO lore than it is Hellscape lore. The only thing that you would know as far as the memory goes, is just from brief mentions of, like, you know, a long time ago, our ancestors worshipped and believed in something called the memory, which was this source of magical power that certain key members of Astari culture had and were able to preach and were able to spread. But as far as that goes, that's all that anyone's really tapped into, because no one believes that anymore. I will say, though, if you are looking to build a character that is trying to find more religious meaning, that is definitely a path that you can pursue.
That's kind of where I'm leaning right now. And it's enough to know that I don't know. Exactly.
Well, don't know as in, like, don't know you want to do that, or don't know as you don't know exactly what the memory is?
I'm saying it's enough for my character to not know what the memory is to want to know. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, as far as, like, exactly what Sam said. Spiritual connotation, the Hellscape is more based on survival than it is needing to find a spiritualness. But if there is, like, if you want to build a character that is curious of, like, what is the memory, or maybe even as something to assist you in your, potentially your survival or building up through your future, that could be a possibility that we can explore in this campaign for you. But as far as, like, an actual seat of power of the memory or Astari religious sects being here, they just simply don't exist, because no one believes in a greater power right now. They have to believe in themselves to survive.
What's going to be the main premise of the campaign, and how we're all, like, grouping up together? Are we, like, trying to kill a big bad, or are we just, like, going through the trenches?
So the campaign will actually begin with you all going through the trenches, as you say. And that's kind of what I was gonna bring up to you guys a little later about this. So the starting idea of the campaign is you all are seeking to look for survival within the Nova Hellscape. It's been quite some time since you all have found or received any sort of food source, and you're currently pursuing a rumor of where a field of ashen fruit is located, so that you may continue to ensure your survival. So the first part of this campaign is to survive and to essentially find food so that you all may continue to live. That will build over into a sect of a village that you are going to discover called Barmaros, where there is a temple there that sort of overshadows the village of Barmaros. While the people are suffering, the denizens of the temple continue to thrive at this point in time. And ultimately, it's going to be up to you all, after you fulfill your need for finding food, of what exactly you would like to do. If as a party, if you are looking for a more righteous need, or if you're simply looking for a way to survive. Ultimately, that's going to be up to you guys as a party of what you want to do.
Do the kindred just absorb energy because they're pure energy? They just put it inside of them and then it just becomes energy?
Yeah, they're essentially walking stars. The kindred themselves are extremely deep race when it comes to the Nova Hellscape, because they are ageless. They are timeless.
How do they eat? Or how do they survive?
They still require sustenance just from absorbing nutrition. So the way that you would go ahead and consume food is, if you found like an ashen fruit, you would absorb it within your very being. You don't necessarily have to, like, eat it with a mouth, digest it, and things like that.
You would put it inside of you.
Yeah, you would just hold it, drain the nutritions, and then it would just either turn to dust or just completely absorb into you into nothingness. I actually want to ask you guys as a party how you'd want to begin this campaign. Would you like a typical session 0 where you're all meeting yourself for the first time? Or would you like to bypass that and already have a well-established background with each other and that you're already a party. What are you all feeling? How do you all typically like to start your games?
I guess it depends on our characters, but I don't mind either way.
Because I can definitely DM it either way with session 1, either starting immediately within arriving in the village of Barmaros in the hopes to find a source of food, or we can start with a character introduction session where you're crossing over the lava vein flow in a boat of obsidian steel. So essentially, it's a boat that uses a tightrope across the land masses, and this obsidian boat will then travel across that rope over this like floating lava scape, essentially. And that it would be a good way for you all to meet yourselves while you're traveling across the lava.
Here's my question then.
Yes.
Why are we not eating each other if we don't know each other?
And that's why I'm saying, like, do you? Well, that's what I'm saying. Would you rather, as a party, be introducing yourselves in the fact, because cannibalism also drives people mad. There are definitely a lot of people out there that have attempted to go the more cannibalistic route, but it doesn't really provide much for survival sakes, as you have known people who have eaten each other as a desperate course of action to eventually lose their mind at that point.
Not even just eat each other. If the main goal is survival and we find some food, wouldn't it be better to just kill everyone in their sleep and eat the food? And I think we'd be less likely to ruin the game with that kind of stuff if we already knew each other.
Are you asking me, or are you asking the party?
I'm just
saying out loud.
Gotcha.
Backseat DMing is what he's doing.
Yeah, I'd say we probably just knew each other beforehand, and that's why we're like level 5 already, because we've just been banding together, surviving kind of thing.
And I can definitely handle it either way. So it is ultimately up to you all if you would like to.
Yeah, I assume we're all going to be different races too, so it just make more sense if we've, through a long process of elimination, ended up being a group of survivors.
I would definitely recommend that route as well. I know some players would like to do like the meeting and the introduction, so that way they can kind of like interact with themselves as characters, which is why I wanted to provide that option for you all.
Yeah, it's just that when you brought up that this was going to be a brutal campaign, and now that the goal is survival.
Yeah.
Like if it was true roleplay, I don't know why I wouldn't push Summer off the cliff.
Of course.
We just all meet each other and like, I don't know this guy.
Maybe
I have a feeling
values.
we should be a party.
That's your value.
You all standing in a circle. There's a single apple in the middle of the room. What do you do?
Well, of course we can cut it into equal 6 parts.
Oh yeah.
No, I stabbed my party.
Jesus Christ, this is gonna be a mess.
I stab my party. Yeah. So.
Oh shit! Hell wolves! I trip my party. I run.
If everyone is fine with everyone already meeting each other, I am perfectly fine with that. So you all would ascend the first session will be arriving at the village of Barmaros, investigating what you've heard a source of food to be. You've heard that Barmaros itself is a prosperous village, and that hopefully you will be able to find some source of food. Obviously, it'll be up to you how you handle searching for that food, whether it be whether it be as up to you at that point. You can either gather information,
give us your
food,
or can we have some food?
Exactly.
So if I'm a kindred, I can eat anything because I'm just absorbing the essence, right?
As long as it is food, but you can also absorb.
That means I
people
can
if you
murder
wish.
people and absorb them.
That is correct. If you do decide
It's about
to do that,
the kindled.
The kindred.
Oh, the kindred.
The kindled. The kindred kindled.
the kindred kindled. Yes, absolutely. You're more than welcome to do that at that point in time. Although the people and your party may have a response towards that.
I have a feeling we're all evil. Just saying.
What is
we all play Mastermind Rogues for 3 levels, and then 2 dips and a bard.
So, that is also a good question. What direction are you guys feel like you're going to play this in? Are you going to try and play more on a good side, a neutral side, or an evil side? As a party, would you say?
Judging by what we've been told, we're just trying to survive. There's no main
I would
goal
say
so
it's
far.
a do what we gotta do vibe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
say it's the opposite.
Whoops.
Well, you want to be a goody two shoes?
Yes.
All right, Whoops might be the first to die.
Whoops is really flexing his roleplay muscles with this
Yeah,
one, dude.
I was also
Not,
leaning
Holy shit.
towards,
it's just, I think it'd be boring if we were just evil the whole time for the sake of surviving.
I was thinking true neutral.
Yeah, that's what
not
I was thinking.
Evil. Like if we need to do evil acts, we will do it. We're gonna do what's in our best case scenario. That's what I was thinking.
That so
Okay.
to me, it sounds like you're not actively going out of your way to be evil, but
No.
if you're
I
desperate,
feel like if
enough-
we were good, like true good, I don't know
That would
how
fuck
we would
us
have
over
lived.
at one
I don't know
point.
how
I'm
we
not
would have
saying,
lived
I'm
this
not saying
long.
be good, but I'm also saying we shouldn't just be evil for the sake of the fact that this
No,
is a hard campaign.
That's not what
where
me
we're in
and
hell.
Strippin were saying. We're
yeah,
being
I
true
think
neutral.
you all are on the same page in the sense of like you all are being true neutral. I don't think any of you are actively
We're not
saying-
being
Would a
murder
true
hobos
neutral
for no
person-
reason.
Exactly.
We're gonna
Trip each
murder
other when
hobo
we're running away
if we
from
need to.
something. I'm
Dude,
confused.
listen,
No,
you don't
that-
you don't need to be the fastest. You just need to be the one who isn't the slowest.
Mm-hmm.
No, the trip thing was when we were talking about if we
Oh,
just had
God.
met each other randomly and then we got
Mhm.
attacked, what would be stopping us from
Yeah.
just tripping one another?
That's
That's
true.
why we're saying we would known each other already, and that's
So you
so
all
we
would,
already know.
you all would already have a
The
established
loyalty is
history.
formed amongst us.
That is correct. So there wouldn't necessarily need to be a sort of like tripping or backstabbing and betrayal because you all would have realized at that point in time that grouping together as
apes are
as a-
strong.
yeah, together you've been able to survive, but if you were separate or individual, you have definitely seen plenty of people who have tried to like make it out on their own at that point in times and not live very long. So as a group of people, you've kind of like banded together to look out for one of each other. I would almost say you all probably would be your own like separate nomadic tribe almost as a fair way of like just going from place to place trying to figure out ways to survive it in the most efficient way possible. Not necessarily and not because even also just like committing evil acts just to commit them, you don't have the luxury of doing that because you all are at this point trying to survive at that
Could we
moment.
assume that banding together, like in this nomadic way, is very common among this landscape? Like, there's a lot of groups of mishmash survivors.
Absolutely. Villages themselves would probably also comprise more of like either the elderly or those that are unable to travel anymore because you're consistently trying to figure out where
Hold up.
food is. in order
There's
to survive.
elderly.
Yes.
We're not eating the elderly.
Do you
There's a
want it?
problem.
If you want to, bro. Like, what's the...
No, I just mean as a society.
As a society consume the elderly because
They probably don't taste good, man.
well, it's not just more the taste good, there are people out there that have resorted to cannibalism in the past, and everyone typically knows that first of all, eating one another, you don't survive long off of doing that because it has made people lose their mind and go crazy in the past, essentially. So it is not something that you typically would do. Also, the elderly themselves still have a use when it comes to the temples and the villages as far as like working out either in the fields, working out in foods, things of that nature. So they still have a use, quote unquote, better than they would be food.
Yeah, but you gotta feed them.
Just gotta clarify that.
That's like, yo, why can't I kill my party? Why can't I be a cannibal? Why can't I eat old people?
You're,
Well, no, I was more so thinking of like, I think it was like a Nordic ceremony where the old people jump off cliffs.
right, and just to push them out and things like that. They still, as long as they have a purpose and can fend for themselves, which sometimes typically they can, there would still be a use for people at that point. Everyone handles the elderly situation, I guess you would say, Ster, differently. The area that you will be at, you will learn more about at the campaign at that point in time. I can't share too much of it because there are things that I would want you to discover, since this isn't like a famous village or anything like that. So these questions are obviously things that you can also discover in the campaign as you begin to learn more about the world you're in and how people survive at that point. Are there, do you guys have any other questions about either race or creating races or things of that nature?
Nope.
Off the top of my head.
No.
Okay.
Are there any classes that are off limits?
Nope. All classes are on limits.
Okay.
What about artificer?
Epic.
If you'd like to be an artificer, I'm trying to figure out
I'm just wondering how I would do paladin, because you kind of need religion.
So the way I've always looked at clerics and paladins is they use an alternate source of power, essentially, to gather from. They don't necessarily have to be a religious sect or a religious background. You could simply be a paladin and view yourself as a holy knight that taps into the power of whatever the power source would be. So in the planet of Io, wizards, spellcasters, paladins, clerics, all of that, they tap into something known as the astral. By tapping into the astral, they are able to cast magic and create things they want. Denizens of the Nova Hellscape tap into something known as the Black Star, which is a singular point that is within the core of the Nova. That it's an unknown power that people theorize about, but essentially it is a singular point where all of time and reality exists. So for example, if you were to go into the Black Star, you could very well be erased from all time and existence from your current timeline. But spellcasters have learned to tap into this power here in the Nova Hellscape to sort of influence and mold the magics that can be made from it. So if you were a paladin, you don't necessarily have to be religious. You would just gather your power from the Black Star and form it in any way that you would wish. So if you want to be a paladin, you don't have to go the religious background route if you don't want to. You could also go more of like a crusader or a holy avenger for a temple, as sort of like the muscle for that temple. There definitely are alternative ways that you can go about with that. I
have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm assuming there aren't seasons.
No, absolutely not.
And I'm assuming it's always daytime.
It is always scorched fire. That is correct.
So how would anyone know how old they are?
That's a good point.
There's essentially no concept of time.
Count the rings.
The shadows don't move.
That's a very good point. You would either use I would say you could probably use timepieces, but there's absolutely no way to do it. Yeah, it's definitely a maddening world at that point. Exactly. Yeah, no one would know how old they are. That is correct. You would have to sort of roughly estimate more of a above board thing as far as age goes. Okay. Someone said how scorched you've become. Yeah, you just see how charred you've become as you are baked underneath this heat wave like area. Whoops, I know you said you were going to be a Mammorath. Surefour, what are you thinking? You were thinking the Kindled?
Kindled.
Okay. Summer, what are you thinking?
Cosmonite.
Ooh, okay. Strippin, what are you thinking? As far as race goes.
Either Mammorath, or I might do Goliath or an Auroran.
Okay. Ster, what are you thinking?
Thinking an Astari.
An Astari?
I think we have like everything.
Yeah, that's everything.
No furries?
No furries? Wow.
All right, Whoops, it's up to you.
Wait, don't worry, dude.
No!
You wait till you hear my class. I'm bringing the furry in.
Whoops, you're the furry.
No.
Elephant's kind of a furry though.
No way.
I love it. So
You gotta be the change you want to see in the world, Whoops.
Become what you must.
Don the ears.
Whoops, do you have a class in mind?
Yeah.
Would you like to share?
Yeah, I'm going Rune Knight Fighter.
Ooh. Whoops. Rune Knight Mammorath. Are you gonna have runes inscribed on your tusks?
If I can, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That way
Yeah.
they'd always be on.
Absolutely. Surefour, what you doing?
I'm
As far as
able to
class.
go Artificer.
I'm thinking about Artificer because I feel
I feel like Artificer would make sense with the Kindles.
Summer, we have to pitch your idea first.
Artificer. I'm fine with Artificer. I was thinking about it for a moment, but yeah, I'd be fine with that. Sure.
I bet, because I was either going Wizard or Artificer, or maybe
Yeah.
I'm both.
I'm down with that. Wizard. What is your idea, Summer and Strippin?
Okay. So we all go 3 levels into Mastermind Rogue so we can just run away and hide from our problems. We get the good old expertise, we get sneak attack, we get the steady aim, we can all be ranged rogues, we get cunning action, we can fucking dash out of there. And then we all get bonus action help to help each other hide better.
Okay.
It sounds like the
And then
monkey
the other
thing
3
Ster wanted
levels
to
you
do.
go into Bard for more skill monkey.
Okay. I'm
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just run and hide. Run and hide.
Oh,
That
so
is
get out of there.
Opposite of what
Five
I had in
times,
mind.
So what happens when we find a legendary
so
creature that has a
opposite.
passive perception of like 60 and we can never hide?
Well, then, like I said before, you don't need to be the fastest as long as you aren't the slowest.
That's
That's
What
correct.
true.
happens when
That's
it can
true.
teleport?
Where's the heroism?
You just have to like,
Cowards.
you have to run in zigzags, dude.
We don't know what exists in this world.
You have to run hard target.
I
That's
don't
all
know
I'm
either,
saying.
and I'm gonna charge in.
But for real though, class-wise, I'm probably gonna go heal slut again, and I'm gonna go Stars Druid.
Okay. So you're gonna be a Cosmonite Druid.
Cosmonite, Stars Druid. I'm probably gonna multi-class into either Cleric or Warlock. I'm
God.
debating which.
Can someone learn create food and water for fuck's sake?
Oh no, I was gonna do Goodberry.
So create
Just
food
eat
and water.
berries.
Well, so I will actually get into what the what create food and water as well as Goodberry does for you in this world, because it definitely has an altered use. It isn't a here's the solution to my problem. Nom nom. It's more of a temporary solution, and I'll get more into that once I describe the brutal nature of this campaign. So, Summer, you're gonna be a Cosmonite.
Cosmonite heal slut. Yes.
Heal slut. Okay, there we go. I shall put that there. Strippin, what are you thinking about?
I don't know. I normally fill. So
Okay. Then
see, I'm leaning towards barbarian or paladin.
okay. And Ster, class-wise, what are you thinking about?
If I tell you one, I will change. So it's kind of pointless.
Wait, if you tell me, you'll change. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's a
He'll
tradition.
second, once he tells you, he'll second guess himself.
Ster
and then
doesn't
he'll
like
change.
commitment.
Oh, gotcha. Understood.
I gotta
Good to
think
know.
about it.
Okay.
Are there any custom classes that you have?
No custom classes. Just the base classes.
Then I might do cleric or something.
Oh my god, he told me what it was. All right, so I'll put.
So
cleric
you have to
question
prepare
mark.
for something that isn't a cleric.
God
Yeah,
damn
I'm gonna
it.
pick monk and just not help.
Okay, sounds good. Monkey. Monk. All right, and Strippin, you're saying barbarian / paladin. You don't have to do any hard selections or choices for this, so just so I have a rough. Okay, so we've got a fighter, an artificer, a druid, heal slut, barbarian, paladin, and cleric / monk.
Wild card.
Wild card. Got a wild card.
Hey, can we roll? Can we roll the stats?
Okay, so here's where.
Oh, no.
Well, if we're rolling for stats, and I might switch classes, you know.
That's what I'm saying, though. We should roll first, and then we decide.
So
if we're doing that.
So, Strippin,
God.
you did bring up the idea of rolling instead of, because usually what I like to do is I do a standard array and then everyone's the same rate and it's all good. Typically I don't like to roll because there's a lot of variables behind it, but I know Strippin really wanted to do a roll pitch.
Well, I just said, given the unforgiving nature of the campaign, can we roll for stats?
Right. So I have a pitch.
Sounds like it could be such a bad idea.
So, yeah, but if you roll really badly, you just die off the bat and make a new character.
Do you see this?
True.
So
Yeah, that's how I thought it was gonna be. What if someone dies really early? What happens?
You can create a new character if you'd like.
Yeah, we just find someone else on the road.
Make a new character and change their name.
We're all
and make it the
replaceable.
same character.
So I would like
You
to...
mean like a Carmine Whoops?
Yeah.
I would like to let you guys know, because this is one thing I keep forgetting to bring up in all of my campaigns, and I need to do it. So in the world of Io and the Nova Hellscape as well, resurrection is not a thing that you are able to do. If you die,
You're back and eat my food.
if you die, you're dead, essentially. There's no, let me just revivify. Let's go and find someone to resurrect. Because of that, typically how death is handled, as long as it is a suitable death and not like, I jumped off a cliff, lol. Usually what will happen is if it fits within the story, depending on what you have found and what you discovered, when you die, you will be given a choice to come back. Usually either through some otherworldly needs or otherworldly sources, but it always comes at a price and it always comes at a cost, typically involved with the story itself. So when you die, or if you die, I think if is what I should be saying, you will ultimately be given a choice to come back, but you will know what the price is if you come back. If you die at that point in time, the book is closed, your story is over and ended, and you are ultimately left up to the fate of the world / the fate of your party. So, as a heads up, if you, I didn't think anyone was thinking this because of the nature of this campaign, but you know, if you die, there is no, well, let's just get a cleric that knows Revivify, because that is not going to be, that's not an option in IO.
The spell exists, though, right?
I mean,
It exists, but you can't use it.
yeah, it exists, but it doesn't do anything. So you are free to grab it and use it. The only the last occurrence of Revivify that worked was in our offline campaign when Lawman revived Gmart, and even then that came at a fucking price. So it's not
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yep. Actually, fuck, that is exactly what happened to Gmart. He lost his arm and had to get a construct arm placed on. So yeah, it was Full Metal Alchemist. But yeah, essentially if anyone dies at the end, typically what'll happen is at the end of combat, because we've lost about, I think IO has had 3 deaths so far. And every time there was an offer on the table to come back, but it always ends up altering the story in some way, because usually it is a dramatic.
Yeah, but if one of us dies, then
drama.
it's just like a nice meal for the rest of us.
Another day in the Hellscape.
On a long rest, dude. Everyone's just gonna eat real good. That's it.
That's it. That is. I mean, that's essentially it. Besides the maddening
Memorath for a
cannibalism.
month.
Memorath burgers.
I swear to God, if any of you's like, wait, guys, hold up. I'll die, right? Hold on.
And
I'll die.
y'all can eat me.
Hey, you can eat me. I'll make a new
Can
character.
a Memorath trunk grow back?
How quick I'll have to actually research that. I wish I had the answer for you. Let me go ahead and drop an invite. I made a World of IO Roll20. We do play our games in Roll20. When you are making your characters and character sheets, I will be building all of your macros upon your tokens, so that way all of your rolls will be done through there. But if you so wish to do your rolls, you can do them here.
Oh, are we doing the rolls for stats?
Oh yeah, so here's my pitch to you all. Since the idea of rolling for stats and letting fate decide was an option, I personally don't want anyone to be screwed over. So here is my pitch to you, since we are also playing a brutal campaign. You roll all of your stats, but you roll 3d6 instead of 4d6. So whatever you get is whatever you get.
Wait. Okay, continue.
Okay. And so essentially the idea is all 5 of you would roll your own set of stats using 3d6 per set. And you all get to choose which of the stats that you guys rolled, and you all have to commit to that. So for example, let's say Strippin rolls a 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, and a 6. And Summer rolls 18, 16, 14, 12, and 10, and 8. You all have to pick between those two which one that you all use at that point in time. This also prevents one of you guys becoming super powerful and the other person getting fucking shafted because their rolls were shit. You all have
So
to.
we're all gonna roll a full stat array and then pick one.
That is correct.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
then we pick and choose where those stats go.
Oh yeah, but the stat array.
So we're rolling for the array instead of.
Gotcha.
Correct.
And you said we're rolling 3d6, right? Are you?
That's correct.
That's
Okay.
pretty brutal, Brett.
Well, you wanted brutal.
Why are we not rolling 4?
Because you wanted brutal.
It doesn't make any sense.
Because
You were like, oh man, because this is brutal, I don't want to make it too bad for you guys, so here's a considerably worse option. That's what you just said.
Well, with a 40,
One of us could get an OP one. Just
One of us could roll. One of us could roll an actual 3 in a stat.
yeah.
Historically speaking, whenever I've done 46s with everyone in the past and picked an array, there's always one array that ends up being so fucking more powerful than the other. That is also why I'm letting you all choose which array that you all will share at that point. So if you do
What
see an
about
array with a
3.5 d6?
3d6 instead of a 4d6.
What about 3d6 plus 1?
A 3d6 plus 1.
Okay, what about 3d6, but you can re-roll a 1 time?
Yes.
Wait, re-roll a 1 singular 1 time?
Yeah, so like 3D. If I'm rolling strength and I roll a 1, I can re-roll it.
No, I don't. We just roll. We're choosing the stat array, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
What?
I'm
just saying, what if all?
You roll for one stat, and then if you get a 1 on that set of 3d6, you can re-roll one of the ones.
One of the ones on an array.
Or we just roll this, and then
Yeah.
we all fuck up, and we all end up with like.
Yeah, let's do it.
All stats less than 10.
I mean,
Fuck it.
yeah. I mean, that's I definitely wanted to keep the brutal, but I also feel like if you all get to choose which one was the better array, and then you all use that same array, I felt like that was the best evening of the 3
Are we
to 6
rolling
rolls.
like on stream?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. If you want to enter the Roll20 invite, you all can roll from there if you'd like.
I'm in there.
I
We should
see.
go
but
one
I
at a
don't
time,
know
so it's not a mess.
Where I roll.
I'm down
Yeah.
for that. I'm down for
You
that.
do the launch game.
Sick.
So
Yeah.
far, it's just Brett, Summer. Okay, there's Ster, Surefour.
Getting there. One
Now we
second.
need Strippin. I just realized I'm the only person here without a S in their name.
Yeah, you are.
That's playing.
Yeah.
We can
That's why
call
we're
you,
gonna kill
we can
you
call you
first.
Sups.
Yeah.
No, just spell it backwards.
No, we call him Spoo.
Oh yeah, Spoo.
Boo.
Yeah, everyone's been telling me that on Twitter and on stream. They're like, "Yo, what if
Lol.
Woops changed his name?" And I was like,
Okay, so I'm gonna roll 6 3d6, right?
"Correct." So we'll do
Okay.
each one individually, so we can actually get all that. I'm down for that.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. So we got a 6, an 8, a 6, an 8.
Oh my god! Don't say one.
There's so many ones in there.
6, 8, 9, 14. Hell
That's
no.
not a very good stat array.
Which one would you like to reroll?
Can we roll any of those?
I mean, maybe he just throws the entire array in the fucking dumpster because there's no reroll that
I
can
mean,
save
no
what he
matter
rolled.
what, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Summer,
Nice.
would you like to go, please?
Okay.
What the
Don't even
fuck am I
think about
looking
it.
at? Oh, damn! Look,
That's the stat array.
that's
That
fancy.
sucks
That's
too.
also terrible.
Oh my god, this is such a mistake.
You can copy and paste this. in it.
God.
I've got it. All right. Let's see. Sam, would you like to roll for me?
This sucks.
Who's rolling me?
Yeah.
This sucks.
5 int.
I hate
All
this.
Oh,
no! Yeah, something about 3d6 doesn't seem
3d6
right.
is actually fucked.
I don't think this 3d6 thing is working out.
I don't think this 3d6 is working as well, but I want to see it in action first. Okay. Oh my god, this is
It's
so
up to
bad.
me.
Door stuck!
It's up to
You
me.
Surefour.
I have to be the savior.
Oh,
Actually,
Oh.
that's
The
not.
highest thing we got was a 14.
Actually,
Don't say that's
that's
not
I got a
bad.
15.
Don't
I got a
say that's
15.
not bad when
Oh.
there's one above 10.
A 15.
got a 15. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. So, would you all like to do 4d6 instead?
Yes!
Okay.
Now let
Is
me
this a question?
I had to
we're,
see it.
we're doing 46 drop the lowest, right?
46 drop the lowest. That is correct.
Here, I got you then. Paste that in.
Oh,
Okay,
I rolled a 20.
How did you roll
That's-
a 20?
You
Oh.
Can't even
didn't
roll a
do
20.
macro. Sure,
Yeah, I wanted to do my macro.
Okay,
It
here we
doesn't
go.
drop the lowest, you dumbass.
It doesn't drop one. Okay.
Okay.
That's all right.
That's better. That's better.
All right,
Better.
Summer's turn.
Up.
Ooh,
Up.
that's not bad either.
Up.
I'm looking for a 17 on one of these though. Uh-oh.
16.
Uh-oh. 9, 8,
Strippin.
8. Hey.
That's really
That's
good.
a
And now
good
it's
one.
for me coming in clutch. Never mind.
Ooh, that's a 6. All right.
It's probably
So-
between mine and Strippin's.
So, looking at that, yeah, I will absolutely allow all of you to pick one stat array.
We could have one god stat, or we could have a lot of just like basic stats. I'd say Strippin's is probably the one I want.
Strippin's would give us two like pretty good stats.
I could start with 20 strength. if we
And then
want that.
we're also level 5, so we get an ASI too.
Yep, or a feat.
Yeah, I'm with Samuel.
Samuel.
Good fucking job, Strippin.
Carrying already.
All right, so you all would like to use Sam's stat array, is that correct?
10, 10,
Yes.
11, 12, 15, 17.
All right,
Yes.
then that is your stat array: 17, 15, 12, 11, 10, and 10. You
Just
can
don't
move that.
type that.
I am
I'm
going
just
to type
gonna-
that right now.
Oh, I got it like that too.
You can copy and paste mine. Pushes up
Are we
glasses.
making characters on D&D Beyond?
You can use whatever you would like to, whatever character sheet you would prefer to use. It could be
There's a character master on Roll20 as well.
you can use
I
that.
love the character mancer.
If
So,
we
what-
we use Beyond 20 the Chrome plugin, and then you can automatically roll stuff from your character sheet on Beyond 20.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we're actually gonna do for this one, Whoops, is I'm actually gonna build macros linked into your tokens, so that way you don't have to use D&D Beyond and Beyond 20. Whatever character
Oh,
sheet you
okay.
use, I'm gonna port over to D&D Beyond so that chat can
Yeah, I believe
see.
you can link your Roll20 account to your D&D Beyond account, and it pulls from the same character sheet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make
copies
mine
over.
on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do, and then once you all finish your character sheets, I'll port them over to D&D Beyond just so they have an overview of it, and I'll make macros for each and all of your abilities. So all you have to do is select your token. You'll see a list of buttons up in the upper left corner. You just press the button. It'll roll an attack roll and damage. Or link your DC, yada yada yada. So it does streamline the whole process a lot more than what we've been doing in our D&D games in the past. So yeah, so whatever you guys
Strippin,
like
are
to
you
do,
going-
I'll port over.
Are you going Memorath?
I'm undecided.
I have an idea if you want to be brothers.
Brother.
Mama Bros?
Yeah, one brother's named Mock and the other one's named Berg. and then we just talk like loud, boisterous
Flexy boys.
elephant men.
You're doing a Rune Knight Fighter, right?
Yeah.
Dude, have you done it before? It's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I have one in my other campaign.
I'm doing unarmed fighting, and I'm gonna have a shield. I'm gonna grapple people with my trunk and then punch them in the face after I knock them prone with my shield.
Mm-hmm. Also, I don't know if you read what that race specifically. It isn't a copy and paste off of Loxodon. The Mammoraths, instead of getting natural armor, they can gore people with their tusks as an additional attack. You just gotta move, charge it, and then gore. So that is a thing that you can actually do.
I just want to be a newly hatched Cosmonite, and I want to be as gremlin as I can.
I'm 1 year old. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so you're
Welcome to the darkness.
role playing yourself, Summer.
Yes.
Yes.
Self-insert.
What the fuck up, Surefour?
So while you're making your characters, I would like to tell you just a little bit more of what exactly a brutal campaign
Surefour,
is.
come on, dude.
Put that shit down, Surefour.
I'm done. I've been saved.
You're not. We can still hear it.
No.
Yeah.
What can you hear?
No, we just heard it.
God, that was
That was me
confident.
putting it in the trash bag.
That was so confident. I believed it for like a moment. I was
Did
like,
you put the mic in the trash bag too, dude? What the fuck was going on?
It's not my fault I have a good quality mic. I'm sorry.
Thread closed.
shit, dude. So a couple of things to let you know. There is no gold in the Iron Hellscape. All trade is done with food. So
Loggers!
So every unit of food you have and can trade allows you to purchase the goods that you need. So when you're making your character sheet or making your character, feel free to use the standard equipment. But you have 0 rations and you have 0 money at this point in time. As I mentioned before, you start at level 5, and now I would like to tell you what are the things that specifically make the Nova Hellscape a brutal campaign, and that's because there are a couple of custom mechanics that you need to be made aware of. So a lot of, I feel, typical campaigns are catered around like party level as far as like the story goes. There's usually some safety nets around. In the Nova Hellscape specifically, danger is around every corner. So this is not going to be a game catered specifically for level 5 adventurers. You can absolutely bump into things that are an impossible or deadly threat, and you need to be able to, use skill checks and figure out when you need to get the fuck out of something or avoid something. Every encounter is not meant to be a victory encounter, essentially. So it's going to be absolutely more open world when it comes to that. One of the biggest things that is going to be added specifically is injuries. Your characters are going to be able to take injuries, lingering wounds, and things like that can only be treated by someone that has a proficiency in the medicine skill. I also want to go ahead and add the way I handle skill proficiencies. You're able to choose whatever skills you want. They don't necessarily need to be linked to your class. So if your class is like choose any of these 2 skills or choose any of these 4 skills, you are absolutely able to choose skills that are not part of your skill set. So that way you can flesh out a character that you would like to make, not what a fighter, for example, or a wizard dictates you should know. So just FYI. But yeah, so typically there are injuries that'll happen. For example, someone can slash across your chest and it leaves an injury of a gash, essentially, that gives you a -1 to AC until you treat it. And so you will definitely get like stacking injuries, lingering injuries, things of that nature. Injuries range from minor, major, and critical. So minor injuries are more of a nuisance, but if left untreated can turn into major injuries. Major injuries are more serious, and if left untreated can become critical injuries. If you have a critical injury, it is permanent at that point in time. That is nothing that you would be able to treat. You may be able to find ways to sort of bypass the negative effect, but if you've left an injury untreated for so long that it becomes a critical injury, it is now a part of your character permanently. So that is something. Typically, you won't find a lot of creatures out there that can deal critical wounds out the back, unless they are specifically a dangerous creature. But yeah. A lot of the times you're going to see injuries through critical hits. So critical hits have been reworked through this system. Originally, the way critical hits work is you just roll double dice and that's it. Critical hits have a different effect in the fact that if a creature or an enemy rolls a critical hit, they get to roll off of their own individual injury table, specifically catered to them. So critical hits become a little bit more devastating. Typical creatures will usually attack with minor injuries, but if you're facing like boss-like creatures or major threats, they'll actually be able to inflict major injuries onto you. And again, these are things that you need to treat. If they are left untreated, they become like, gangrene or like, losing function of a limb, things of that nature. So it's absolutely important that you are treating your injuries. There, for example, is a one common injury called a dire wound, which are probably the most serious of the injuries that can be inflicted upon you. With a dire wound, whenever you are downed, you immediately start with a failed death saving throw. So if you have one dire wound, you immediately start off with a failed death saving throw. If you have 2 dire wounds, you start off with 2. And if you have 3 dire wounds and you go down, that's it. You go into shock and you essentially die at that point in time. So dire wounds are able to stack, and it's important that you heal them when you get them or figure out a way to heal them when you get them. Another big thing for critical hits for players, instead of you guys doing double dice, I run off of a system called vulnerability debuffs. So whenever you get a critical hit on a creature, you apply a vulnerability debuff on them. Look at this sort of as like a token that you can spend to deal double damage. If a creature has a vulnerable debuff, before you make an attack, you can state that you're going to spend that vulnerability debuff and then deal double damage to that creature with whatever attack you're about to do. Now, in a standard D&D setting, or usually a standard IO campaign, if you miss while trying to spend that vulnerability debuff, you don't spend it. But since we are doing a brutal campaign, if you miss, the vulnerability debuff will be spent, whether you have dealt damage or not to that. And that's essentially the critical hit. The critical hit reworks at that point. I'm sorry if I dropped a lot of information there, but do you have any questions about either injuries or how the critical hits work? Either of you? Or is it pretty straightforward? Either, both, everyone.
Is it all written down somewhere that you can give us?
Oh yeah, I'll copy and paste all of this. I just kind of wanted to let you guys know as well.
Kind of straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. Okay, cool, awesome. So, one more thing I want to get into. So in the IO campaign setting, I use a mechanic called the scan skill. For those that have been in Arcadum's games, for example, this is very similar to Arcadum's martial checks, and the fact that you can identify traits of a creature, moves of a creature, meta information like hit points, AC, stats, things of that nature. So in the next phase of IO, I actually want to rework the way that the scan system works. Instead of you using a free skill action, instead, the way scanning / martial checks work is that you spend a bonus action and automatically identify a trait or move of your choice. Essentially, it adds weight to your action economy, and you have to actively decide whether or not you would like to learn information. The plus side of this is you don't have to roll a skill check. You just immediately get to learn one thing or another, but you have to spend a bonus action to do so to learn more about the creature. And that is something that I'm going to be experimenting with phase 3, making scanning a creature more of a choice than a free action that you end up missing at that point in time. But like I said, since you're spending a bonus action, doesn't require a skill check, you just at that point immediately learn that. If you are a race, for example, that doesn't spend bonus actions, that'll probably be more of your function at that point to do that. If you are a rogue or a fighter that typically likes to use their bonus actions for dual wielding and things like that, as a party, you would want to go ahead and organize how you would want to learn more of your combatant in exchange of dealing damage. So that's a major change that's going to be done with that. Again, I'll copy and paste all of this. And finally, one of the last big parts of the brutal thing is that exhaustion has a big part in this game, and your failures will tick away at your exhaustion. I don't, if anyone knows, there's an exhaustion table that has exhaustion stacks. So to plan around those that are downed, if you get downed up and down a lot, I noticed a lot in D&D, a lot of people would be knocked unconscious and then just get back up. You know, someone feeds them a potion, they're good to go. In this game, every time you are downed and get back up, you suffer a stack of exhaustion until your next long rest, as the weight of battle begins to essentially beat down upon you. So if you are someone that has gotten downed, you may want to either evacuate, either flee the battle or back away or move more into a supportive position, because getting downed, then jumping back up at 4 hit points and then charging in just to attack again will definitely weigh down at you at that point. And that's something I'm experimenting with this brutal campaign setting. So, any questions about the brutal campaign setting and how exactly that all works or anything like that? Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I've changed my mind about playing Barbarian. This isn't a question.
Okay, all right. What are you going to be playing?
Well, Barbarian just seems like a fucking terrible idea. So I'll probably look at Paladins.
Okay, sounds good. So one final thing about exhaustion that I'm actually going to be asking you about, and I'm going to copy and paste this. You all essentially will have started with a bit of hunger deprivation, and it's also one of the primary reasons why you are chugging along trying to find food at anything that you need at this point. So you all are actually going to start out with stacks of exhaustion. And I will be giving you all food points so that you may all decide which one of you will be less exhausted than the other person, depending on your class and things like that. And that's something that you all are going to have to figure out. Once you arrive at the village, you will have been traveling for quite some time, short on food. It is starting to eat away and beak back at you at that point in time. And you will have to ultimately decide of your food resources specifically, which one of you are going to be less exhausted than the other people. I will inform you that obviously there are food options available that you guys will have to figure out what is the best course of action to go ahead and get food. And once you have acquired that food source, you will be able to cure your exhaustion. If you have spells that either heal food, that either create food, you will be able to give yourself a 24-hour temporary exhaustion removal. But the food is only temporary, as you will then regain that exhaustion back if you are consuming magical food. So, with that, I will let you know. You guys can either determine now how you would like to split that food, or we can wait until session 1 on how you can split that food. But
I don't even know who I am.
Okay. So you want to wait until we can go ahead and wait until session 1 to figure out how you would like to divvy up that food. Does that sound good to everybody?
I think a bit of that will be like based off character personalities too.
Yep. Sounds good. But I did want to let you know that you guys are going to be starting with some exhaustion stacks, as your primary focus is going to be trying to figure out the food, like exactly where to find food, how to find food, as you'll be dragging along with that. Okay, but that's pretty much that's it. That is the long list of what the brutal campaign is, and like I said, I will go ahead and copy and paste all of that for you all. Do you have any questions at this point in time, or anything you would like to let me know?
Not off the top of my head.
Goo goo gaga, me want milky.
Dude, I'm gonna commission art and die immediately. Let's go!
Mommy Milkies.
I hope this is something that you guys are looking forward to. This is definitely an experiment into what is to be a difficult campaign setting, more of a harder experience that you could potentially perish at any time. But a full campaign will be planned. The idea is that it'll be something that you absolutely will be able to get through if you are smart and you are cautious and you exercise your survival skills at this point.
Damn, we hella smart.
We'll see how hella smart you all are. So, the final question I have for you.
No, I have one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes, please, absolutely.
I just wanted to double check because I haven't seen any of the new 5th edition books, so that like none of the new classes are off limits. I know that was answered before, but I just want to be sure.
So the only new main class that I know of is the Artificer. I don't know. Are you talking about like the subclasses?
Yeah, subclasses. There's a lot of them now.
Yeah. As long as they've been released, I'm pretty much okay with it.
Okay.
I have yet at this point looked at a released class and have went, oh yeah, no thanks. So you are more than welcome to build and pick whatever you want. And also, if you have any questions, you all have my DM information. I'm happy to answer anything that you guys have in the hopes to create your character, whether it be things about the world or answers that you want, so that we can help flesh out your character in what is a different landscape than it would be in a typical fantasy like setting. So, any other questions from anybody? Up. Okay.
No.
Okay. So with that, where would you like to start? What as far as start date is concerned? What date works well for you? I can start as early as next Monday. I can also push back if people have other things they'd like to do. I figured Monday at 7 p.m. was the best date for everyone here. Is that correct?
It's good.
Okay.
Fine with me.
When would you like to start the campaign?
I can start today.
I cannot start next Monday.
Okay. Ster, what's the soonest that you can start?
After next Monday.
So July 5th. Does July 5th work for everybody? So 2 Mondays from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will unfortunately also miss one day in July, I think.
Which day in July?
The 26th I won't be here.
Okay. We can do 3 sessions and then take a week off if that works for everybody at that point for the 26th. And then we'll continue there.
I might. Well, I mean, there's plenty of time to figure that out, but
we'll leave it open. I'm pretty flexible. So, and also if you all want to ever like move a session temporarily around, I'm also afraid to do that for people as well. So, then in that case, July 5th work for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Sure.
Excuse me. So next time we'll meet at 7 p.m. EST, July 5th, and we will talk more. Everyone already has an invite to the IO Discord channel, so we'll actually be role playing in the Nova Hellscape room at that point in time. This is like I said, this is a very glorious experiment on what is the Nova Hellscape, or what is a brutal campaign rather, as well as fleshing out what the Nova Hellscape is in the World of IO campaign setting. It's something that I'm super excited about, you know, a little nervous, but I think it's going to be a fun time that will really just flex some new mechanics at this point in time. So does that sound good with everyone? You guys looking forward to the campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Destroyed idiot.
What?
What? So yeah, if there's no other questions, I will let you guys go. So thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you for helping us flesh out this and build this out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I hope to give you guys a harrowing, scary experience in the Nova Hellscape. So
I'm ready to die.
There may probably be deaths. we will see. Like I said, my main objective and goal will always be that I don't plan to kill you guys right out, but it may possibly be, death may be on the table. We'll just have to wait and see how
Whoops,
difficult
let's
things
talk
are.
Mamo Bros.
Okay.
All right. I will talk to you all later then, okay?
Okay.
Peace out.
Bye.
All right, thank you
GG.
guys again. Bye. Oh, all right. What'd you guys think? Are you guys hyped for this campaign setting? Oh my gosh. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. TM winner POV. Very hyped. Hypers, good brutal, Nuzlocke D&D. Gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be an interesting mix. Yep. Actually, see what's up. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up today because I got some work I have to do for tomorrow. I'm gonna be playing Radiance tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. It should be a good, fun time. So head on over here, 4 p.m. EST. That's actually gonna have Whoops and Summers in that game. It'll either be finale or it will be second to finale. So make sure that you guys also do that. Brett, do you use UA? I typically do not use UA, as that is all stuff that needs to be worked on. UA is a condition by condition basis. Head on over to follow us on our IO Discord. If you'd like to talk spoilers, talk more about the campaign. And yeah, Brett's vocabulary will be destroyed by Surefour. Oh, I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Also, follow me on twitter.com/BrettUltimus. If you'd like to catch up on all IO games, head on over to our YouTube channel. And yeah, so it should be a fun time. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you all very much. And anything else? Thank you for all the subs. Everyone who subscribed today, I appreciate you guys very much. Big bless up to you all, to all of you subscribers. And consider supporting our Patreon. We have a variety of tiers of $5, $10, and $20 tiers. The $5 tier has all the MP3s of our campaigns that we do. The $10 tier is maps and things that I build for the campaigns. The $20 tiers includes my Game Master notes, including the Nova Hellscape race guide. Will be coming up on the $20 tier very soon. So if you guys are interested in that race guide, consider supporting the Patreon at that point in time. That's it. I will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. Thank you all so very much. And I will talk to you all again. Bye-bye.